Welcome to the Minding Your Business podcast. I'm CJ Jolliffe with
your favorite co-host, Aaron Gerald.
Snap. How'd you know? Oh, man.
Sorry, I had to add that. Okay, you probably noticed, things are a little bit different. I'm in my new office space right now. It's undecorated. You can even see there's some drywall patches up here that need to be fixed and stuff. There's no art up on the wall. And this is actually the front lobby. So this is going to change. This hopefully is the only time I'm going to be doing an episode right here, but I didn't want to miss an episode and I'm down here working anyway. So I figured let's do it.
Well, it's a lot better than me doing this by myself. So
yeah. Okay.
Part of it.
Dude, so I got something kind of exciting, like because I'm setting up this new office and I like to play around with AI and the chats thing.
No.
And so I kind of primed up one of my chats, the chat 40, to be a marketing expert, a interior design expert, and to utilize the skills of a social psychologist and to come up with the appropriate color palette for me to paint my new office.
Nice.
And I explained in there, I'm going to be doing in-person therapy. I want a calming thing, calming colors. In fact, I'll touch on it. I've got it on my, I just went to the wrong one. That's my YouTube, because I got something exciting about YouTube to talk about too.
Oh, nice.
But I told it, act as an interior designer, blah, blah, blah. And then I even laid out the office layout with the cabinets on one side that are white. I explained and described the office.
Okay.
And it says, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll kind of go through it real quick. It says, to create a calm, relaxed, and professional atmosphere in your counseling office while also keeping it suitable for filming YouTube videos, I recommend the following. And then it gave me color recommendation, which is dark muted blue, or a smoky sage. And then it explained exactly why. And then it went through and said, interior design perspective, the deep teal pairs beautifully with the cabinets, the ceiling, with the floor without being overpowering, creates warmth and cool undertones. So it makes it both. Filming benefits, dark teal absorbs light in a way that minimizes glare, making it easier to control lighting for videos. Its natural, muted tone won't distract the viewer or clash with your appearance.
Very
I didn't
nice.
realize that. And then it went into why not navy or black. And it explained absolutely why not to do that. It says use matte or eggshell.
Please,
for it. And then accent tips. It tells me what accents and textures to put in the room to give it that exact feeling.
And did it say anything about like brass or gold?
It said natural wood accents and natural textiles to warm up the space and prevent it from feeling too cold or stark on camera. And then artwork and decor, abstract or botanical prints.
Okay.
And that's because they're soothing and they pull in nature while also indicating, the messed up feeling that they might be experiencing in my office when they get there. And then it said for lighting,
not after they leave, of course.
No. It talked about the lighting, and then it said suggested colors, and it gave me colors from Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore, and Behr. So I went ahead and looked up the two from Sherwin-Williams, and they're pretty doggone nice. So I'm actually going to go to Sherwin-Williams and then get either one or the other. I took in the screen sample into the office and I used the different lighting, but I'm ultimately going to use lamps.
Yeah.
So it's warmer light inside that office, because that's where typically I'm using warmer light when I'm sitting and being in person, doing counseling in person. And so I figure what better than to have a big, deep, long office with a counseling office behind me while I'm shooting the video. So it's going to make it much better. Right. And it's not just YouTube videos. It's also where I do my virtual counseling. And I think it makes it a little bit more appropriate to have a counseling office backdrop behind me so that they feel like they're more in the office. So anyway, that was my feeling for that.
So are you going to go with the sage, like the green?
Yeah. So I tried looking on the camera, which of the two colors, because I actually pulled them up on my camera, and they don't actually show well on the actual camera because it looks purple, kind of bluish, but that's the much more cool blues with a mix of green and gray undertones. And then the other one is Retreat. So there's Riverway and Retreat is the more green one, although it doesn't look like it here.
Right.
And then this one is the more blue one. I think I'm going to go with the blue one just because the baseboards are almost that exact color now.
Okay.
So I kind of held it up and held it in my periphery, and then what it would look like if that whole wall was that color. So I kind of did that. And I think I like the blues better. Plus some of the artwork and things that I have a little bit more of the blue than it does the green in it.
What color is the flooring?
No, that's not the sofa I'm going to use. So I think that those other pieces are going to tie in better with that.
Yeah. So what color is the flooring?
It is brown.
Okay.
It's that brown right there.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is still
good old office.
Not exactly what it actually looks like, but it's pretty close. It's just kind of a warm chocolatey brown.
Okay.
So not bad. Should disappear. I'm going to definitely get a rug. I may even use the rug that I have from my old office, which has got the grays and kind of looks like spilled paint on concrete. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's sort of abstracty, and it has kind of an old concrete feel where it's gray with a little bit of rust. Looks like it's kind of a cool rug. I'm thinking about bringing that in and doing that.
Well, I know the greens, those greens and blues that you're talking about are like very in right now in real estate, right? So one of the things that, Darcy and I do all the time, like probably 5 days a week, is look at houses online. It's kind of like our morning routine, like before, we start the day, drinking coffee and seeing what new houses there are. And so the trendier houses will have like, I don't know, a blue accent wall or a green accent wall. Again, the right blue or green.
We did go the last couple of years to and I don't remember exactly what it's called, Street of Dreams here. And it's basically the $1 million properties, like the dreamy houses, like, oh, hey, come check. And they've got interior designers that make them all fancy. And for the most part, the last couple of years, in several of the $1 million or multi-million dollar houses, the office space is a similar color to that.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's got that kind of teal-y, muddy teal, kind of gray, green, brownish, I don't know. But it's a darker, warm color, and it really just sort of like makes the walls feel like they disappear, which is kind of what I'm looking for. When we're in there talking, I don't want them focusing on the ugly Navajo walls and seeing the terrible texture and all of that. I want the walls to sort of disappear so that we're just focused on what it is we're talking about.
Yeah, well, and I'm glad
I think that's going to work.
Said something about like eggshell or flat, because
the matte finish. Because otherwise you get this glare.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this is the semi-gloss. It's just so glary. It looks terrible.
Yeah.
I really like the
only
matte.
place that belongs is in a bathroom or maybe a kitchen.
Yes, because you need to be able to wipe it down.
Exactly.
For sure.
Sorry. This is the interior decorating portion of minding your business. Wow.
Yes. Okay, so let me touch on YouTube. Remember I talked about last episode, my directioner told me, go back to your wheelhouse, like go back, start doing some more relationship videos, so forth. He gave me a little bit of a different target, but it was okay. I posted that video, and I understand I have a tiny channel. I understand I have a tiny audience. I understand that my channel isn't indicative of everybody else's. I get it. But I can tell you this, that when I release a video, and almost all of my other videos that have gone out, I get 12 to 14, 20 views, 24 views, 40 views. Like, it is not great in the first, week or 48 hours. This little spike is when I last released my last video, which was this one, how to get over someone you love.
Okay.
430. So I 10x'd the views, going back to the core content that I had started the channel with. And I think it did that because when I asked my directioner, he's like, I think it did that because it sends it out to your subscribers first. And then if it gets any traction, then it continues to go and go and go.
Right.
And so it sent it out to them, and they watched it because they were also the same people that are looking at the no contact rule. So they've obviously broken up from somebody. They're in a relationship and they're thinking, God, I've broken up using no contact. How do I get over them? Whoop, it applied. And so my most popular videos on my channel are no contact. Should you forgive your partner for cheating? How to forgive your partner for cheating? And now how to get over somebody that you love.
Okay.
So there's sort of a running theme that's kind of taking place. And so I'm doubling down on it. I made 2 more videos this week on dating, basically how to approach somebody, because I figure now those people are getting over somebody else. Now they're wanting to know how to approach somebody. And then it's like, once you approach them, why are you still single? Like, so I made the 2 videos, 3 reasons you're probably still single and they're not the reasons you think. And then how to approach somebody you're interested in. And it's also not the typical instructions that you get, suck it up, just go talk to him. Right. Like, it isn't that stuff. It isn't like, oh, be brave. Yeah. So it's none of that. It's some new creative out of the box thinking that makes you go, well, I could do that. And that's the point. If you can do that, it's one step. It's not going to make you Don Juan, but it will get you one step closer to the place you want to be and the person you want to be, the person you are with your friends and your family.
Sure.
Because too often people are shy in front of strangers and they're like, God, if they really knew the real me, okay, I'm going to show you how to take the nervous energy and convert that into connection so that you can start making contacts with people.
Oh my gosh.
And so anyway, that's what the video is about. So
well, interestingly enough, like, especially, that taking that nervous energy or the shyness or whatever, a friend of my son's is interested in this girl, and I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus here.
Okay.
But text with her all day long. So we're talking about a high school kid, right?
Right.
Like, lots of texts back and forth, and
right.
in person, they don't speak at all.
Right, because they
don't know how to. They don't know how to.
Right, it's out of their wheelhouse. They're really great at texting, but they have no idea how to talk in person.
And I'm the opposite.
Right. Well, and it's so funny because there is so much more nuance to talking. When you're talking, it isn't just the words. It's the words, it's the pauses, it's what you said in between the lines, it's the tone, it's the pitch, it's the pace, it's where are you looking? What are your body? What is your mannerisms? How are you? Like, so much more. So I could see where they'd be comfortable doing 1 out of 100 things. But then you put them in a place where they have to now think about the 100 things. The difference is, like, it's just about learning that when you focus on them instead of you forget about the 100 things and they work out fine.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
That falls in line with that. If you want to be interesting, be interested.
Right. Oh my God. Yes. When you told me that line, I was like, I'm going to start using that, because that is a really, really good one.
Yeah.
But because that's the truth. People are like, I wanted to be interesting, so I want to talk about, stop talking.
Right.
Start asking.
Yeah.
Yes. And so there's a huge difference, because people can talk about stuff they're interested in. So get the other person doing that with you.
Right.
So, office things, the stuff, Merry Christmas. I apologize. Happy holidays. So what have you been up to this week? I'm sure there's something.
It's a little bit of chaos, because it is like the holidays and stuff. But I had a great sit down. This has a point, I promise. I had a great sit down with a friend yesterday. Grabbed coffee, and basically it's one of those things where he's at a pivotal point in life, and he's trying to decide, is he going to go left or right or backwards or forwards? He doesn't really know.
Sure.
And it's kind of like, just talking it out, right? It's not like he's coming to me to, like, solve his problems. It's just like, let's just talk. Let's see what's up, And so, we had a great conversation, and one of the things that we talked about was, I struggle with this too. Like, there are times that I don't necessarily like what I do.
Sure.
For my day job, right? So.
Yep. Yeah, I got you.
Now, I'm extremely grateful for what I get to do, because it allows me to do things like this. Invest in Christian and him learning about business, and with roast of the week and all the other things. So I like the lifestyle it affords. I don't necessarily love it just in itself.
Yeah, you love the hole, you just don't love the shovel.
Right. And so, but I'm old enough to be like, you know what, Grandpappy didn't necessarily have to like what he did, but he got up one Monday and got his butt to work and he did what he needed to do. And so I have that that voice in my head that's like, get over it, suck it up and go. But I'm also young enough to be like, but I want to do the thing that I'm passionate about, which at the end of the day, I also know I've turned enough hobbies into work to know that work is still work, even if you enjoy it, it's still work.
Yes.
So, we're having those kinds of conversations. And he actually said something really interesting, like, our grandparents or whoever came before us, right? They didn't have a lot of options. It was kind of like, well, you can do one of three things, right? And I mean, even, the kind of job that I have now, like, let's say web designer, right? Just something simple like that. That's one of the aspects.
Right.
When I started high school, that was not an option. When I finished high school, that's when I got into it. I started doing it in my first year of college.
Right.
And now we're, 25 years later or something. And I really don't know, right? In 20 to 25 years, in 10 years even, what that industry looks like. How does the internet change? It's all so up in the air. The number one job, the number one career in America right now is content creators. Now, it's not the number one paying job, but it's the most people that say that's what they do, right?
Right.
That wasn't a job 10 years ago.
No. Right.
I mean, if it was, it wasn't called that. And it certainly was not as prolific as it is now, right?
Right.
And so it's really interesting. The whole point, all these choices, right? And it's almost like there's so many choices. What do you do?
Yeah.
Paralysis of analysis. And so, anyway,
Absolutely.
in all the things, I just kind of asked him, I'm like, hey, so he actually said it. He said, I'm most passionate about this. I want to, kind of want to follow my passion, but, it's scary kind of thing. And I was like, okay, well, so of the things, there's a couple different directions you can go, but which one are you seriously most passionate about? Like, that's the dream. And he's like, it's this one, right?
Okay.
And I was like, okay. So which one is the scariest? And he's like, same one. And I'm like, take it for what you will, but from my perspective, kind of seems like that's the way you should go,
Right.
I know for me that if it's not a little scary, it's probably not worth doing.
Yeah.
So,
dude, that really goes back to that idea. You've heard of SMART goals.
Yeah. I
always misspell it with an E at the end because I believe you have to do all of the other things. It has to be, and I don't remember the only important one I remember is the E anyway, but it has to be SMART, which is S is something sizable. I don't know.
Attainable.
Either way, you have to be able to track it. You have to be able to measure it. You have to be able to define it. You have to be able to do all of those things. Right. And you can do all of those all day long. And it still isn't going to get you out of your chair unless there's an emotional reason to do it.
There you go.
And so for me, it's always the emotion. It's always, why do you want to do it? Yes, it's a great goal. Yes, it makes sense. You've got it laid out logically. It makes perfect sense. But is that going to get you off the sofa to go do it?
Right.
No, not unless you have an emotional reason to do it. So the fact that guy is scared about it, he's scared to do it, scared to fail, scared to get in it, scared to, okay, he's gonna. Now there's a reason. There's an emotional pull taking him there. Yeah, I think you're right. That's the way to go. That is the one to double down on.
But that's why we have conversations with people, right? With people that we trust, and we're looking for feedback and just, hey, hold a mirror up, is because we get in our heads. And he's very much like me in that way, where, man, I can, on any decision, I can go either way. I can overanalyze. It's left or it's right. Here's why it's left. Here's why it's not left. All the different angles. And again, I think that's a little bit of my superpower.
Right.
But it can also cause paralysis of analysis, right? So
absolutely. Oh my God. And that is such a huge psychological factor sorry, it's specific, measurable, attainable. It takes a while for my brain to come back.
You got it.
But that analysis paralysis is why you go to Target and there's 3 razors.
Right.
There's not 50 razors. You go on Amazon, there's 150 different like handheld razors.
Right.
You go to Target, there's 3. And you're like, why is there 3? Because it's good, better, best.
Right.
You decide which one you want to buy.
Yeah.
If they put 150, you go, oh my God, okay, so all these are the best. And so I can't, you're never going to make a decision. You're going to walk away because it's too many things.
Which literally describes my Amazon shopping.
Yeah. So when people think about what they want to do, I have to narrow it down. I say, wait a minute. Do you want to work inside or outside? Oh, no, inside. Oh, okay. Do you want to work in a manufacturing like plant, or do you want to work sitting at a desk? Do you want to be on your feet or in a chair?
Right.
Oh, no, I want to be in a chair. Well, I want to be able to go out and talk to people. Okay, so do you want it solitary or social? Do you want to, if you just keep breaking it, salt, pepper, salt, pepper, salt, pepper, salt, pepper, they can choose and break it down, and then they can choose from the actual things that they're interested in. Yeah. Versus if you leave it infinite, you can't make a choice.
Yeah.
Because you think everything's an option.
One thing I've learned about myself just in this, midlife crisis season, is I don't necessarily care all of that much about what I do. It's more about who I'm doing it with, right? Like being a part of a team, being a part of something that's bigger than myself. Like, I think that's where like I just find a lot more satisfaction in those interpersonal relationships, in achieving goals together.
Okay.
Of, just by myself. And for better or worse, I'm not all that driven on my own. But when there's accountability, when there's someone else that I might let down, I'm very driven because I don't want that feeling. So, But I do have one other thing. For roast of the week, it's just a little thing, we have, I guess next week, we have a new blend that we're doing. And it's going to be the like New Year's blend. So it's the Future Looks Bright blend. So, I'm a big fan of the PBD podcast, Patrick Bet David. And so Christian and I were sitting down and we're like trying to come up with a name, something that was along New Year's. And it's like, dude, let's, we're optimistic for 2025. I think that, it's going to be a great year for a lot of different reasons. But it's kind of like, let's go with that. So it's a little homage to like one of the things that he always says. But man, that's it. So look for that.
Now I'll be watching for it for sure. I like that. Is there any light roast in it since it's so bright?
It is light roast. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Outstanding. Then I'm really looking forward.
The future looks light roast. I don't know.
No, I got it. I got the bright was a light roast, and I'm like, ooh, I am hoping that there's some light roast in there.
It is a very bright, it is a very bright coffee. So,
man.
But yeah, that's all I really have for this week. I've got something I've got to take off and run. It's kind of a shorter one again this week, but we're not. It's the timing. It's the holidays. Things are just crazy hectic. There's so much stuff to do and not enough time to finish it in.
But I feel like we get to finish this year out strong. I feel like this was a good intro because we're finishing, but we're about to start 2025. And I think minding your business 25 is going to be like a crazy good year. I am looking forward to it. I'm actually starting to get, just since you, congratulations. Thanks for starting the LinkedIn page. I invited a few people to it. And since I did that, I've already gotten invites and requests to be on the podcast. Whether or not we take people and put them on the podcast, I don't know. I'm interested in that. I know we've had a rough time doing that before, lining it up timing wise and trying to make it work, but
we're better equipped for it now.
And there's a lot. It just seems like there's more interest in it this year. And I think it's because we're really starting to take it serious.
Well, and again, this is episode 19, right? So we have some under our belt, and we took a few months off to get prepped for our video podcast. But this is what we're doing. We're not just, we tried it and we're going to move on. Like you're stuck with us, right? So
this is it from now on. I mean, there will be subtle changes, like just disregard the background here. But
And
anyway, I appreciate everybody's patience and their willingness to put up with our idiosyncrasies and our weirdness. That's super cool.
Well, I like your kind of weird. It matches my kind of weird. So, or
Yeah,
complements my kind of weird. Yeah,
our brand of weirds are on the same shelf.
exactly.
So
There you go.
yeah, it's pretty easy.
Well, I hate to
Cool.
run, but
Yeah,
yeah.
so
So we're not
let's
doing
wrap
this
this
next
up.
week. We'll be taking a week off because it's Christmas. But
Okay.
so 2 weeks from now, we'll be back. We'll be live streaming, and it'll be episode 20 in 2025.
2025. You don't say.
Yeah,
Woo.
crazy.
All right.
All right, man. Well,
Sounds
have
good.
a great weekend. Have a great Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Festivus for the rest of us.
Oh man.
And I'll touch base. I'll talk to you before then, but we'll be back, everyone, in right at 2 weeks.